Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for the Championship preview round number 22. We have nearly reached the halfway point. That comes in 2 games' time, and then we get 2 weeks off, don't we? So join me right now, and we are going to go through each and every game in round number 22. Before we go any further, and I've just realised something I should have done, and I haven't done, but before we go any further, let's just say thank you to the Donovan brothers here, who are our Championship preview show sponsor in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of this show. I was supposed to confirm with David, who was going to be sponsoring this one. I think he's going to do the Saturday Super Stream. So I'll give David a shout out anyway. And we are in the midst of fixing that up. But it will likely be the Super Streams that he will be sponsoring. What have we got going in the chat here? Let's say hello to James. Yes, feeling much better now. Thank you, sir. And Chris, good afternoon, sir. Dasher, Sly, Adam, Russ, Edward. I see a new desk. Bear with me. Yeah, new setup here. Hope everything working out okay. Adam is here. John. No, I don't know what day. What day of the week actually is it? With the new setup now, the whiteboard used to be like there. Now it's back there. So I'm looking over my shoulder. It's Tuesday. Yeah, the bins went out and they've been corrected. Lovely stuff. Improved setup. Thank you, Sly. Yeah, we hope so. Alex is here again. Nice one. Yeah, always good to check in with the missus, hey? Carl is here. Edward is here. We'll talk about Sheffield Wednesday. Edward and Lewis. Daniel is here. Eli. Goodness me. Lee. Mr. E. Loads of you in here. Wonderful stuff. Tuesday. We found it in the end, didn't we? Brian. Oh, Brian's here on lunch. There we go. Nice stuff. And Josh is here too. Right. Shall we crack on with this? Hopefully the new setup's all going to be okay. Hopefully StreamYard's going to be okay, because it was giving me hell last week. But the last 2 streams, we've been okay, haven't we? Let's flit over to the split screen. And there are our fixtures. Only one postponement there. The Millwall game. We'll talk about Rotherham playing. And, I'm sure we'll get some views on maybe a little bit of a strong arm from the EFL on Rotherham there. But there are our fixtures there. Birmingham versus Derby. Millwall, Watford postponed. Wednesday, Borough. Yes, I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions about Wednesday. Huddersfield versus Blackburn. Luton versus Bristol City. Norwich versus QPR. Preston versus Coventry. Rotherham versus Barnsley. Wycombe versus Cardiff. Stoke versus Forest. And then tomorrow night, in what we expect will be a double watch along, Brentford versus Bournemouth and Swansea versus Reading. As ever, let's start up at the top of the table. Norwich are our leaders. They are 4 points clear, but they did, God forbid, they actually lost the game the other day. So get your predictions in for... Here we go then. Norwich versus QPR. I suspect we may get a landslide on this one, but Norwich versus QPR. League leaders, Norwich in tremendous form. Just that defeat to Watford, taking on QPR, who are not in tremendous form at all, really. Are they? Sliding. In fact, let's just do this now. How long since QPR have won a game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 without a win for QPR. That came against Rotherham. They'd be even lower in the table if it wasn't for that. 3 points you can see in 5 games for Rangers. There we have it in the league table. Norwich all the way up the top, QPR down in 19th. We're about to go into silly season with transfers. I've done a video on that today, actually. Bright Samuel's contract is expiring in the summer, so it might not be the best month for QPR. Pressure mounting on Mark Warburton, and we don't really need to go into too much detail on this. It's a very slim chance for QPR over at Norwich, isn't it? I know Norwich did have that defeat. That was away at Watford, one of the other of the parachute cartel. I'll go to your comments, but I'm going to dive straight in there, and a pretty confident home win from me. Let's see what the comments are saying. Richard says 4-0, Tino 3-0, Chris home win 4-0, 2-0, nice desk 3-0, 2-0 Norwich, 2-0, 2-1. No, yes. Predictable, this one, I think, isn't it? 3-0 Norwich. Can't remember the last time I predicted a QPR win. Sometimes you see an upset because it's the Championship. It's just not going to be happening in this one, is it? Although Sly's gone for a 1-1 there. 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 1-1, 3-1, 5-0. Warburton out, sacked the board. 4-1. Yeah, look, we're fairly certain on this one, I think. So I suspect we can move on. A couple of one of my ACCA bankers. Yeah, this will upset a lot of accumulators, this one, if it doesn't go the way we are suspecting. Is that there's only a couple of games tomorrow, isn't it? So yeah, that one's in 5 hours. And I think we're all heavily on a home win in that one, and we'll see where that's going to leave QPR in the long run. Let's move on quickly. Sorry if you wanted me to say a lot on that one, but I don't have a lot to say on it. Honestly, let's move on to the Swans in second place. And this is one of the two games tomorrow night. So get your predictions in. Swansea versus Reading, which may be a little bit harder to call. Remember, Reading still key players out of that first team. It's a top six clash. Swansea in lovely form. And am I going to remember all the names? I'm going to get told that John Swift is back. He'll probably be on the bench again because it's been since September. However, no Richards, no Moore, no Zhao, and no Maite. And Reading going away to inform Swansea. Let's put up the recent form for the Swans. And I think we've got 10 games up there, have we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the recent form says 6 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats. So that's 20 points in the last 10. You know me and my 2 points per game hankering. Swansea are in superb form. In fact, look at those clean sheets as well. 1, 2, obviously 2 against Derby, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean sheets in those last 10 games. So Swansea probably favourites for this one. Reading soldiering along manfully, but I think in the absence of that group of first team players, it's all, I've said this many times, you'd rather have 7 squad players injured than 4 actual bona fide first teamers. So I'm going to bore the hell out of you again. I've got to go home win on this one, guys. Just, it would be a harder one to call. Impressed with Paunovic, impressed with Reading. However, I think the injuries are going to sway it in my in the favour, I think, of Swansea in this one. What are you guys saying in the comments? Swansea there, 3-2, 1-0. Swansea. Richardson, Zhao, fitness tests tomorrow. Big fingers crossed for Reading to get them back. 2-1 Swans, 0-0, 2-2, 2-1, 1-0 Swansea. 2 good teams lacking strike power, cancel each other out. 1-0 Swans, 2-1 Swans. I think you're mainly, guys, Gibson, Yidam, Ararunya, Pushkas, Moore, Maite, definitely out. Ouch. Not the squad to cope with that at Reading, is there? 2-2, 0-0, 2-0 Swans draw. Swansea, narrow win, could easily be a draw. 1-1. Chris says home win. Sharon Richards may be back. Fingers crossed for you, Reading fans there. Reading 1-0, 1-0 Swans. 1-0 Swans. Look, I think given the injuries, most of us are in sort of a similar place on that. Now you can see more of my desk. I'm going to have to keep it tidy, aren't I? Dearie me. Right, let's move on. And it's Bournemouth who, well, they got the day off last time out, didn't they? Postponed against Millwall. But here you go. Here's a tough one to call. Brentford versus Bournemouth. Good luck. And I'm definitely going to go to the comments before I make my call on this one. Brentford versus Bournemouth. Look at that. 3rd versus 4th in the table. Where is the game? It's at Brentford. And no red in the last 5. So no defeat. And no defeats really. Oh, my God. Is it for either? Just the one defeat on that page there. Bournemouth going under at home to Preston back on December the 1st. But for these two, it's really, really good form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 9 fixtures for both of them, and there's one defeat in the 18 games between these two teams. There's the recent Bournemouth form, and clean sheets coming in for Bournemouth as well. Look at that: 4-0, 0-0, 5-0, 1-0, 0-0. So when they're not winning, they're not losing, and they're not conceding any goals recently since that game against Preston. Didn't Scott Sinclair score from the halfway line in that? Well, near as damn it, the halfway line. Brentford in great form, and have they solved the Ben Rama issue with Sergi Canos, who was there? He was there the whole time, wasn't he? For goodness sakes, and a brilliant hat-trick from him last time. That will take the heat off of Ivan Toney a little bit up front. Great form. Look at that from Brentford. 3 wins in the last 4, and it's a long, unbeaten run. And this is a hard one to call, and you would expect both teams to score in this one as well, given the attacking quality of both. What are you guys saying here? 1-1. A lot of organised pens. Absolutely. You can never have too many organised pens, can you? 2-1 Bs, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 3-3, 2-2. We're going for a scoring draw in this one, guys. 3-1 Bournemouth. 1-1. Draw, 2-2, 3-2 Bs, 3-2 Bournemouth, score, draw. Yeah, we are. I'll try and bang them all up. I can't read all of them. We've got loads of people in the stream today. 2 proper footballing sides. Bournemouth probably just the better side. 2-1 Bournemouth, 2-1 Bournemouth. Bournemouth win, 2-1 Brentford. We're all over the place here. Draw and a 2-2. So, beings I've called home wins in the first 2. Let's sit myself firmly on the fence. And if you were either Jason Tyndall or Thomas Frank in this one, you'd take just not losing, wouldn't you? And they're big games. They really are big games, these. And especially for those trying to challenge the parachute cartel like Brentford. But they've got themselves in there. And sometimes these teams at the top of the league, they say, OK, keep it level against the teams in the top. And who gets the most points against the rest? So let's sit on the fence then. Let's go for a draw in this one. But we should be watch along 8 p.m. No, it's the 5:30. I think we'll do both. We'll try and do both tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Moving on, who is next? Watford. Now, Watford is postponed. So it was supposed to be Millwall versus Watford. That one is postponed. Let's just look at the table really, really quickly. Swansea play Watford at the weekend as well, guys. Interesting. That might work in Watford's favour. The day off and some extra time with their manager, the new manager, Xisco. Obviously, it's Millwall with the COVID issue. So, I don't know. That could work in Watford's favour with Swansea maybe a little bit more tired. And then Watford with a nice week break in between a game against Norwich and a game against Swansea. Could work out nicely for the Hornets there, going into the transfer window. Millwall a bit further down there in 16th. They're going to be 2 games behind after this one. We've already done Reading, who are in 6th. So we're going to move on to Stoke, the clean sheet and draw kings. And this might be a short conversation. Get your predictions in, guys, for Michael O'Neill's Stoke versus Chris Hughton's Nottingham Forest. Should we stop now and say 0-0? Let's hope not. Stoke versus Forest, which is tonight. Is that on the TV? Or is it? No, it's Derby. And I think they might have 2 games on the TV. They're going against Amazon tonight, aren't they? Stoke, well, my perpetual 7th place theory is going on for Stoke. They're just kind of stuck there. They just can't get into the top 6. And that is lack of wins. If you look, everybody above them has won more games. I know that's a fairly straightforward thing to say, but you know what I'm saying. Lots of draws there, seven draws so far this season. Lots of 0-0s. I think they're tied with Swansea for clean sheets. Forest, well, 5 points in the last 3. Hughton slowly, well, very, very slowly, but surely, or is it surely? There is the form for both. So you can see with Stoke, only 3 wins there in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Joe Allen back, waiting on Clucas as well. Loads of injuries at Stoke, isn't there, at the moment? For Forest, it had been that horrible run there. Look at that, 6 defeats in 7, but 5 points in the last 3. And remember that horrible run. Look in there. Barnsley, their form team on the last 4 games, tied with Norwich. Bournemouth, Swansea, Watford, Reading, Norwich, Brentford were those games. So maybe Forest will be really pleased to have got all of those out of the way. But still, Stoke away, tricky business. Before I go to your comments, I'm actually going to put it out there. Let's go for a home win in this one. I just don't think... I think Hughton will need the transfer window. They need to get some players out of that squad, don't they, and let him have a little tweak. They're getting there slowly but surely. I think they'll be fine in the end. I'll just go for Stoke. They'll probably win 1-0 or 2-1 if they do indeed concede a goal. What have you got here in the comments for me on this one? Forest 1-0, 0-0, 2-1 Forest, 0-0, 1-0 Stoke, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0 Forest, draw, both are on Sky. Nice, 1-1. Forest play like they did against us. It's going to be a long game. 1-0 Stoke, 1-0 Forest. Stoke can't keep not scoring and getting clean sheets. They can still keep getting clean sheets, can't they? I'm sure. 1-0 Stoke, 1-1, 2-0, 0-0, 1-0. 2-0. Let's just flash the rest of these up. Home win, 0-0, 1-0 Stoke. Midweek at Stoke, always difficult, isn't it? Just 1-0, 1-1. So, yeah, if you're a betting person, under 2.5 goals in that one, if you can get it, is what the chat seems to be saying to me. Let's move on and talk about Borough. And we get to talk about Sheffield Wednesday as well. So look, I have done a video on Sheffield Wednesday, and we've said it a million times. Chaos relegates clubs, owners relegate clubs. And Sheffield Wednesday have fired Tony Pulis this morning. It would have been a Tony Pulis derby, wouldn't it? So along comes Neil Warnock, the Sheffield United fan, to play against Neil Thompson, ex-Ipswich player, in the dugout at Sheffield Wednesday. And if I'm a Sheffield Wednesday player, I want to know what the hell's going on. And I'm going to find it quite hard to go out, given probably the training that I would have done, and go and get a win in this one. I think the odds are against Wednesday in this one, I have to say. Borough are 3 wins on the bounce. Warnock pulling the team together there. Watmore firing, Akpom and Assombalonga sort of rotating as the lone forward game upon game. Defence is good with McNair and Dykesteel and Fry at the back. It's a typical Warnock. He's got them organised. The instructions are straightforward, and they're at 8th in the table and winning games. Obviously, with Watford not playing ahead of them and Reading going to Swansea, perhaps Borough could end the round in the top 6 if they can get a win. Wednesday, just chaos, isn't it? He got 4 points from the last 2 games, hadn't he? So I don't know what the assistant says. Follow the instructions we worked on this week, but I'm sorry. Chaos and owners relegate clubs in the long run. Great club, Sheffield Wednesday, but this really has got disaster written all over it this season now. Going to be going on to their 3rd manager, and we think they're going to be going into a transfer window with no room to do anything. And the Bannon links in the summer, his contract's up. So, oh dear. I'm assuming the worst for Wednesday now. Let's see who the hire is and what Chan Siri does. What are you guys saying here? 2-0 Borough, says Peter. 0-0, 2-1 Borough. 3-0 Borough, 4-0 Borough. 1-0 Wednesday. Go on, Edward. 4-0 Borough, 2-0 Borough. That's got to be one of the shortest times as Championship manager, possibly one of the 10 games. Goodness me, 1-0 Borough, 2-0 Borough, 2-0 Borough. This will tell a lot about the quality of the Sheffield Wednesday squad. Lose by 3 or 4 could be a long way back. 2-1 Borough. And then it could be Exodus, couldn't it? Movement of your people. 2-0 Borough. Typical Borough to lose tonight, we'll see. 2-0 Borough. 10 games for Pulis. 2-0 Wednesday. 3-0 Borough. I think we are we there? Are we caught up? Wednesday, chaos, away win. Agreed. Chaos relegates teams. Good players cannot play through chaos, however good they are. Well, it's a struggle, isn't it? Unless it's, who was that manager at Chelsea? Avram Grant. But it helps when you've got Drogba, Lampard and Terry and Cech running the dressing room. Chan Siri out. 2-2, when they sack a manager, teams pick up slightly. Maybe on the day of the game, might be a bit of a struggle. I've gone away win in that one. Shall we move on, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol City, who are visiting Luton? I was at this game last season and Luton won it 3-0. And Lee Johnson had a big row with someone. Who was it? Famara Jeju, I think. Luton versus Bristol City. Get your thoughts in. Bristol City kind of cobbling their way along, aren't they? Luton are trending downwards at the moment, aren't they? Not many wins recently for the Hatters. Bristol City just hanging on in there. Injury problems permitting still. Jeju coming off the bench to get the winner in the last game. Got 10 wins though, haven't they? They've got more wins than Stoke. Bristol City there with just 1 point and 2 places behind the Potters. Let's just have a look at the recent form. We just see how good Bristol City are on the road before I commit any further to this. 3 defeats in the last 4. Luton are good at home, aren't they? Beaten Preston and beaten Norwich. Draws there with Blackburn, Birmingham and Bournemouth. Can the Hatters tame their downward trend at the moment? It dropped down to 15th, actually. That would be their worst position of the season, I would have thought, for Luton. I'm on the fence. I'm going to go draw in this one. I'd probably be behind Bristol City if it was at Ashton Gate, but I'm going to go for a draw in this one. What have we got here? Let me just come out of there. Right. Where are we going? Last time City scored 3 goals was a year ago today against, you guessed it, Luton. Deja vu. 3-0 City, 2-0 Luton, 2-1 Luton, 1-1. Heart says City, but Head says we're going to get stuffed. No Viner or O'Dowda. Who's going to play centre half? Callas and someone. Taylor Moore. That hasn't worked out well this season, has it? 2-1 Luton, 2-1 Luton, 2-2, 2-1 City, 2-1 Luton. Brian at home under the lights, 2-1 Luton. Adam, 3-1 Luton will come to play football. They have been sitting in, Adam, Bristol. I've seen a few Bristol City games and they do know how to defend at the moment. Need revenge for last time losing 3-0. So maybe 2-1 Bristol City or 1-1. Don't want to lose again. Let's just, we'll keep these coming through. I just saw you on Wikipedia. What are you searching for me on Wikipedia for? Deary me. Very flattering. Luton unbeaten at home. 5 unbeaten at home, indeed. Home win. Steve Coppell didn't last 5 games before he quit Bristol City. Is that in the Championship? I suppose it was, wasn't it? 2-1 Hatter says. Tino Asprilla. What a player he was. Let's move on. I've gone for a draw in that one. I'm on the fence again. So I need to come off for this one. And it's going to be easy to come off for this one because it's Rotherham versus Barnsley. And Rotherham a little bit screwed in this one. There's been, if you saw, Iain kindly sent it to me yesterday. If you saw Paul Warren's press conference, he's not happy. They've been told 9 days for isolation. They haven't been able to train because of waterlogged pitch, training ground, etc. So they've missed the last 2 games because of COVID. They've got players recovering and play into the fact that Barnsley are in really nice form, aren't they? And keep on winning. Well, you can see where I'm probably going to go with this one. Barnsley up to 10th position now. Great job under Ishmael so far. And if you look on the right-hand side there, you will see 5 wins in the last 7 games, 15 points in 7. That is championship winning form for Barnsley. I'm not suggesting that means that they're going to go ahead and win the championship. I'm just saying extrapolate that across the whole season and you will go up. Extrapolate Rotherham's form across the whole season and you will be relegated because they've got 4 points in the past 3, 6, 8 games. So they're at 0.5 points per game. So if we use 7 and 8 games as our form barometer, Barnsley's form is 3 times better than Rotherham's at the moment. And of course, that does not even factor in the COVID issues and not being able to train issues. So I'm going to go right in there before I read your comments. I'm going away win here for Barnsley. Let's see what you guys have got to say in this. Hoping for siege mentality, but in truth, we don't stand a snowball's chance in hell. An EFL bullied 3-0 defeats. Iain, I wonder whether Manchester City will get the same treatment as Rotherham have got because they cancelled at the last minute, didn't they? 3-1 Barnsley. Eli says 1-0 Rotherham. 3-1 Barnsley, 3-0 Barnsley. Mo at Masterclass. He appears in my most saleable assets video that's gone up today. 3-1 Barnsley. 3-1, 3-0. 2-1 Barnsley, 3-0. Can't see anything other than a Barnsley win. I know it's the championship, isn't it? But what you're going to do. Barnsley have a realistic chance of making the playoffs. Maybe. 3-1 Barnsley. Rotherham, only 2 wins in 11, hampered by COVID. Away win, agreed. Miller's pulled together and come out with a hard-fought 2-1. It would be a hard-fought 2-1. Although, I guess Paul Warren he's good at playing the underdog card. You have to if you're Rotherham manager up against some of the budgets and the clubs they come up against here. No disrespect to the Millers. It's a hard old task for those promoted teams. So I'm going to go Barnsley in this one. Blackburn next, guys. Huddersfield versus Blackburn. I'm already struggling to predict this one. Huddersfield versus Blackburn. Get your predictions in. Huddersfield, I've struggled to predict them all season. And to be fair, I've struggled to predict Blackburn all season. The only thing we know recently about Blackburn is they've struggled against stacked defences, despite having Elliott and Armstrong up the top there. Dak is back. He came off the bench, so I wouldn't have thought he would start. And look out for the Joe Rothwell midfield drive machine, which we've seen a few times. Huddersfield, though, they're just capable of putting together really good performances, although I suspect Huddersfield is a better opponent than Blackburn than some of the recent ones that they've struggled against, because Huddersfield will push forward and maybe leave themselves open for Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Elliott and Mr. Dack to get in behind. Look at the recent form for Blackburn. Not opponents there. They probably enjoyed playing Norwich most out of that lot, but come up against Pulis and O'Neill and Vaughan and Dean Holden, we saw sat back there and got the win for Bristol City as well. So I might go Blackburn on this one on the basis that Huddersfield will just attack them. If you look there, you can see Huddersfield went to Bournemouth and tried to play open and lost 5-0. So they're not bothered, and it does get them wins. Look, Huddersfield 2, Watford 0. That was Ivic's last game. So my hypotheses, stupid as you might think, and it often turns out to be that way. We try our best. But my theory is that Huddersfield will play open, and they'll be the first team in a while to play into the hands of Elliott and Armstrong, actually leave some space behind. So I'm going to go for an away win. What are you guys saying in here? 1-1, 1-1, 2-2, 1-1, 2-1. Huddersfield, no one's with me. I'm all on my lonesome here. I'm a renegade. 3-3, 2-1 Town, 1-1. There you go. James has gone for Blackburn. If Huddersfield attack us, we can get a good result. So that was my thought there. Blackburn there. Rovers 2-1, 2-2 Armstrong. Brace. Huddersfield won last 4 at home. Blackburn no win in 3. Stretched by defensive injuries. Home win. 2-2, 2-1 Blackburn. 2-1 Terriers. Dak thinks he's a reality TV star. Now he is. He absolutely is, isn't he? Yeah, whether that's good or bad, I don't know. 2-2, both home scoring teams. Bradley Dak winner. Cue Mark Morrison to release Return of the Mac. Nicely done, Alex. And William says 0-2 in there. I'm on Blackburn, but hey, I've got Huddersfield consistently wrong all season. So yeah, maybe my predictions are not the best to judge it on. Right, who have Birmingham got? They have got Derby in the early kickoff. We'll figure out later what is going on tonight. There'll definitely be a super stream. Not sure we'll get to tack the watch along on the front, but this would be it if it was Birmingham versus Derby. Derby been in good form. They lost to Preston. However, they did play with 10 men from the 20th minute, and they did lose to a 97th minute goal from Alan Brown. I would think the message from Rooney, Rossini and McLaren is write that one off. It was down to the 10 men, and away you go again, and keep doing what you're doing. They had got better defensively, hadn't they? And that's a narrative we always talk about when we're talking about Birmingham, isn't it? The defensiveness and the low-scoring games and the draws, etc., etc. There's the form of both. So Blues had a run of 3 straight defeats. They'd had a run of 2 straight wins before that. Who did they lose to? Borough, Cardiff and Watford. So they lost to quite stoic-looking teams. I wonder whether Derby's a better opponent, because even though they have been defending well, Derby, they did move the ball nicely, nicer than a few of those teams we mentioned. Let's just look at the home form and the away form. Birmingham's home form's horrible. Look at that. 1 point in the last 4. Derby's away form, 4 points in the last 2. I wonder, can the Rams get something from this one? If they do, they missed their chance, didn't they, at the weekend to get out of the bottom 3. If we think Rotherham are going to have it as tough, and then they'd only need a draw to get out of it tonight. Remember, Rotherham do have a game in hand. Now, let's plead the 5th, see what you guys are saying in the comments. What do we got here? 0-0, 0-0. 0-1 Derby. This one stinks of a 1-1 draw. 1-0 Derby, 2-1 Birmingham. 1-0 Derby. 0-0. Chris has gone away win. There you go. That might give me some affirmation to jump on that. 5-0 Derby, says Jay. Not happy with Mr. Karanka. 2-1 Derby. Abel says 10 men against Preston. Worked for a long time. Worked hard. Brum win 1-0. Is Wazza a good manager? He seems to be, doesn't he? John is a Blues fan, not sure on this one. Would like to say we can win. Ironically, we feel more confident if this was away. 2-1 Blues. I get asked this every game. Who do I support? There's literally an Ipswich scarf in the shot now, isn't it? 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 2-0, Derby. Let's go for a draw. I'll sit on the fence. I was thinking about going away win in this one, but I just think Karanka will not lose. Let's move on. I've gone for a draw in that one. Coventry is Preston versus Coventry. So I must have missed out Preston. I do apologise. I've done that in the wrong order. We should have done Preston a game ago because they are in 13th. Looks like I've missed out Cardiff as well. I'm having a nightmare here. We'll get it fixed. We'll do all of the games in the end. I promise you. Preston versus Coventry. In fact, I've only got one to go, which must be Wycombe and Cardiff, mustn't it, by process of deduction. Coventry going up to Preston. Preston about to go into this mad month now where they've got like 8 players out of contract at the end of the season. And Alan Brown, Ben Pearson, Ben Davis and Dan Johnson are all going to be going back and forth to their agents all of January asking what's happening, who's offering, where am I going to be playing next season, what have Preston offered me. So I wonder how January is going to work out for Preston. They have got 3 wins in their last 5. Coventry have been on really good form, hadn't they? However, if you actually look at that last 5 games now, I suppose there's still 6 points in there, but it's just trending a bit more neutrally now that we were saying, oh, Coventry in a really good moment of recent times, hadn't we? Although if you look there, to be fair, look at Cov. Is that 10 games? I think we've got all 10 up there, haven't we? 1 defeat in 10 away at Pulis no more, Sheffield Wednesday. Preston are erratic. I've struggled with then 2 1-0 wins. However, in the game against Bristol City, it was hard. We did that as a watch along. It was hardly inspiring stuff. And there's the 10 men factor there. I wonder if Coventry can get something in this one, although they don't win too many despite being in good form. Oddly, let's go for this narrative. Some Preston players who might be interested in getting a new deal either with Preston or somewhere else might be very motivated at the moment. And let's go for a 3rd straight win for Preston. I'm going to go for a home win. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. What have we got here? Preston 3-0. Richard, I missed it out. I'm an imbecile. Sorry. I will get onto it. Next one. I've only got one to go. So 0-0, 3-1 Preston, 3-2 Preston. Preston aren't away, which means they're vulnerable. Yeah, it has done, hasn't it? Who says men can't multitask? I think you can see multitasking in full effect now. My hands and everything are visible. Sean Maguire says Logan. He'll leave that at that. Is he another one out of contract? 1-0 Cov. Would love Ben Pearson at Mill. He'd fit perfectly in Millwall. Wouldn't he? Horrible little midfielder to play against. Preston playing better at home now. 2-0. Impressed by Cov. Preston 2-0. 2-1 Cov. Preston still have injuries. Slightly improved at home. Unbeaten in 3. Coventry have only one away at Wycombe. Home win. 2-1 Preston. 2-1 Cov. Tomo's in charge at Wednesday. We're talking Neil Thompson, aren't we? Yeah. What a left foot he had. Goodness me. Coventry 2-0, says Josh. Alexis, Coventry have only won 1 away all season. Preston 2-1. Right. So, sorry, it shouldn't be the last one, but I've missed out Cardiff and Wycombe, haven't I? Get your predictions in, guys. Apologies. Wrong order there. Always gets a bit tetchy for me. Halfway down the table, I start missing them out, don't I? Wycombe versus Cardiff. Let me know what you think. Wycombe at home, but just don't win enough games, do they, Wycombe? Let's have a look at the recent form. Cardiff are back-to-back defeats. Excuse me, I'll put that on the screen. But the back-to-back defeats came against Brentford and Norwich. So a mitigating factor there for sure, I think. In terms of the rest of the games, look, a 5-game winning streak and also a win against Birmingham in there. And Wycombe, I bore myself saying it, Wycombe lose tight games, don't they? They're competitive, never lose by more than 1 goal. You can see in those last 10, they haven't, but tight and just don't get the job done, do they? So, apologies. I'm going to go for an away win in this one. What are you guys saying in the comments? 2-1 Cardiff says Nippon. Sorry if I've butchered your name there, fella. 2-0 Cardiff, 3-0 Cardiff, 2-0 Cardiff, 1-0 Welsh, 3-0 Cardiff. Cardiff win. George, I can't read that, buddy. He says 0-1 Wycombe, S House. I'll get in trouble off YouTube if I stick that on the screen. 2-1 Cardiff. Wycombe will hang on until the dying minutes, won't they? Just 3-1 Wycombe. I think this game will suit Sir Neil of Harris. Same old story. Cardiff 2-1. 1-1 hopeful draw for Wycombe. Wycombe 2-0. Good at Ashton Gate. Interesting. 1-0 Wycombe. Chris, Wycombe no win in 11. Cardiff lost 3 of 4, but to very good teams. Yeah, that was the point I was making, Chris. We're going from the same hymn sheet there. Away victory. Right, that is our 12 games. Sorry, I butchered the order. Guys, let me know what you think of the new setup and everything. Hopefully it's all looking and sounding okay. I have had a couple of issues with the audio on my last couple of, because my mouse now, you can't see the mic, it's just out of shot. My mouse now, I speak quite loudly, as you probably realise. My mouse now at the same level as the mic, and it's picking up quite loudly. So let me know if all is good. I welcome your feedback, provided it's not blunt. Sometimes people are so blunt with their feedback, aren't they? So, yeah, really, really excited about all of this now. Christmas present, nice desk. Although I think that makes a bit of a weird noise. I need to get a mouse mat. I thought I had a mouse mat in the garage. Evidently, I do not. It's comment of the day. Do you have a spare pen I can borrow? That's tremendous S-housery, Mr. E. I've tended to put Mr. E in the fake news sin bin for that, but I think it made me laugh too much. So I think I'm gonna keep him out. That's clearly fake news in the. Let's not get into pen behind the ear again. Right, guys, thank you very much for watching. That is the championship preview round 22. We'll figure out what's happening later. It's more than likely to be a super stream tonight, in which case we can go live about 7:30. Let me just bring the fixtures up one more time. That would just give me a little bit more time with Shalian with the dogs, because that's only a couple of hours until the Birmingham kickoff. So yeah, I suspect that's what we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games are going to be going on at the same time. So that's decided. We'll do a super stream tonight. So come and join me for that. In the meantime, it's scrolling along the bottom there. Patreon is the place. I'll now go and do my abridged video over exclusive for Patreons, where the only place you can find the predictions one after the other in short form. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Looks and sounds great. Thank you. Looks class. Nice one, guys. Good for that affirmation. Love the bigger setup. Nice wide angle. Maybe a splash of colour wouldn't go. Do you know what I wanted to do? Who said that? Alex. I'd quite like to hang a shirt or something, a framed shirt in there. So, yeah, everything looking in order on your desk. Lovely. Indeed. Chelly used to be a school teacher with your pen collection. Yeah, you never have too many pens, can't you? There we go. Right. Are you going to have the... Yeah, we'll have the Forest game. We'll have it on, but it'll be... We'll do a half and half. Oh, and I will keep a good eye on the Forest game there if that one's the Sky game. Oh, if only I had a Marcus Stewart one. Framed Norwich shirt. Can you imagine the Ipswich fans? If anyone wants to send me the most expensive possible framed Norwich shirt, and it's worth a load of money, maybe, but I do seem to be missing a white corner desk. I've got it. Oh God, yeah. Anyone wants to club together and get me a Marcus Stewart shirt? Yeah, that would be lovely. My favourite player of all time. Right. With all of that being said, I think we'll be back at. I mean, we could do 7, couldn't we? Because it's 7:30. It'll more likely be a 7:30 super stream tonight. Just remember, what are the other videos that have gone up today? I think we can probably put the channel up, can't we? Bear with me 1 second. Let me just do a quick little plug of this. And this will be weird because there's going to be me streaming at the same time. But yeah, a couple of good videos I think worth watching. There you can see each club's most wanted and Tony Pulis talk as well, all up there. Right. I think we've got it, haven't we? Thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you for the comments about the new setup. It's all worked. I was a bit scared when I was replugging everything back in that it wasn't going to work, but it did. I'll see you tonight for the Super Stream, and it's over and out from me. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.